Hi everybody, it's me again with a new movie. Now, first of all, I would like to ask you guys that are watching. I know I'm a beginning YouTuber, but I do not. I'm not. If you like it, like it. If you want to subscribe, it's free. No worries. But if you wanna I would like to see you guys comment a movie underneath that you would like me to review because that gives me um, maybe something that I never seen, and I can give you a second opinion about it because I've seen for 10 years horror movies, and I saw a lot of reviewers on YouTube, and I reacted to them, and with you know not being a dickhead, but just comments like, "Oh, there's this and this in the movie," and the fact that they replied that they didn't know that, and he forgot about that, or they thought, "Oh, I didn't know that. It's cool." So I do know, and I'm exploding with all this, you know, message information. So no, you can't put a movie in the comment and I'll do it. It's for free. It doesn't I'm not asking money or something. But it's a it may be fun. It may be fun. But okay, I bought this audio device. I'm not sure if it works well because it wasn't the most expensive one, but I had some complaints that the audio wasn't too good. That I reviews were good, but the audio could be a little bit better because they had to push it through the limit to hear my voice. I'm I listened to the viewers and I bought myself this. But today I wanted to talk to you about I did all the Halloween movies. I did all the Friday the 13th. I'm doing all the Friday the 13th movies. I did part 1 to 8. And basically I like my favorite franchise is Halloween, although Friday the 13th I like more movies than the Halloween franchise. I like 1 and 2 in Halloween because that's John Carpenter, and you can say no, he didn't direct the second one. He did a Carpenter's cut, so yeah, he did direct it. It's like I said, Poltergeist, a proxy director, but a director who wanted to do two movies at the same time. Steven Spielberg. I think he was doing Jurassic Park or something at the same time, and he wanted to do a Poltergeist. So he gave Toby Hooper notes. You can clearly see Toby Hooper's genre was Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And you know what I mean? And now I'm sort of getting off tangent, but um, Friday the 13th are all good except part 8. That's just the idea what that on a boat is cool, but first of all, the fact that in the beginning the couple that's making out, he wants to scare the girlfriend and has the mask on, the real mask from Jason with the exact cut in the mask from the axe in the third part. How the hell did he get that? No one knows. And the fact that a, there is a stream apparently connected with the ocean, with the Atlantic, Crystal Lake. But okay, and that cruise ships are landing there. Okay. But you know, the idea of him on a boat was cool. But yeah, if you can look past the bullshit, maybe it's a good movie. Now this movie I seen years ago, and I didn't like it. I thought it was horrible. Now I watched this. What I sometimes, and that's because I'm a beginner. I did Scream 3, and I didn't like it, my review, because at the end I didn't know, like Lance Henriksen, did he survive? Did he die? I'm not sure, and I still am not sure, and I actually should have watched the movie. If I'm not sure, I actually have to watch the movie again and then go back to, and I did that with Piranha. I did that. I actually did a complete review of Scream 4, but I didn't like it because I didn't know how the end just come together. And I'm an in-depth kind of reviewer, so usually not spoiler free. Um, but I didn't like it, and I didn't upload it. I'm gonna see the movie first and then come back to you again with it. But I saw Jason Goes to Hell yesterday, and I have to say, watching it from years ago, I actually like the movie. It's an okay movie. I mean, I'm not a big fan, but I like the movie. You got Harry Manfredini doing the score. Adam Marcus is the director. Don't know the guy. Producer is Sean S. Cunningham. Kane Hodder is Jason again. I'm not a big fan of Kane Hodder. I'm a fan of Richard Brooker. Richard Rooker, sorry, it's not Brooker, but Rooker. Ted White, and the one of part 6, I think C.J. Howell or something, I'm not sure. It's a name that's not talked about a lot. Uh, uh, and after that, it's Kane Hodder all the way, but I don't like Kane Hodder as Jason. Now, um, the beginning, first of all, a complaint. Jason looks so weird. He has this boil head. I mean, he has all of these boils on his head, which looks so weird. And it looks like his mask is grown into his face, or the boils are growing over it. And it doesn't look like his original mask. It's like a metallic mask. It doesn't have a cut. I'm not sure if it has stripes. That I can be wrong. That may be vague stripes, but he looks weird as fuck, and he has some plucks of hair. I mean, he didn't have hair only in part two. What I remember, he got a big bush of hair, and he lost that in part three over in one day. So he had to shave. It's weird because he also had a beard. He also had a beard, I believe, in the second part. So he did a big shave before he started killing people again. But yeah, those are flaws of the movies. But again, it's still, slasher movies. They're not perfect, right? The cast isn't Oscar worthy. It's still, in some levels, a B movie. I mean, yeah, okay, but this movie, I actually thought this movie was somewhat better acted in a way. I mean, you've you the movie starts. There's this pretty girl going to her cabin on the lake, and lo and behold, Jason is there, and he tries to kill her, but she avoids. She runs away with a towel around her waist because she wanted to take a shower, and suddenly she stops. Jason is coming after her. She jumps away. Spots are going on him, and all these special unit FBI agents with riot guns, revolvers, handguns, MP5s, M16s are shooting him to bits, taking him 50. Like a machine gun that comes with that's fast on the ground. you know, that's put on the ground, you know, an M60 or was it a 20 caliber or something. They're shooting him basically to bits, and then I'm not sure they throw a grenade, but a grenade wouldn't do that. It looks more like somebody from, yeah, it looks like somebody from upstairs, from above, shoot a rocket launcher at him, and he blows to bits, and they have this big explosion. And I'm not thinking that a grenade can do that. So yeah, it looked like he was killed by a rocket launcher, but it can be a grenade. But okay, yeah, let's go with the grenade then, because it's weird. It's weird that he dies with that explosion of a grenade. He's basically blown up to pieces. So they gather the pieces, put them in the corner, and at the coroner's office, there are two guards of the unit that killed him, and one of them is Kane Hodder, played by Kane Hodder. So uh, the coroner eventually, it's funny, he's taking all these bullets out of Jason, and he's like, okay, and he's talking to a microphone, a mic, and saying, okay, another caliber. Okay, this seems like a 20 caliber. This seems like a 9 millimeter. Gonna be here all night counting these bullets. He's probably shot 100 times. So he's like complaining. It's funny that he's taking all the bullets one by one, and he has to note every bullet, which caliber it was. But then he sees the heart, and the heart starts pumping, and he gets almost hypnotized by the heart, and he eats the heart. And he becomes a vessel for Jason, because he walks uh, in front of a window, and you see Jason, the Jason we saw in the beginning, but he isn't. He's in that vessel. So he goes past the guards, and Kane Hodder says a remark about, yeah, Jason was a big pussy anyway. And then you get a news report say they see the two guards being fucked up, and it's funny. And the reporter says he had an interview with one of the fun characters of the movie, played by Stephen Williams, Creighton Duke. He's basically a bounty hunter, and he's been hunting Jason for years, and he knows a lot of exposition about. There's a lot of exposition about the Voorhees family, and he knows a lot about Jason, and he knows how to kill him. And he says my prize is 500 grand, and the reporter says we're gonna give it to him and see what he does. Okay, so but he goes to a diner where Diane Kimball works, and Diane Kimball, her last name was Voorhees, Diane Voorhees. Basically, she's the sister of Jason. So Jason had a sister, and Diane has a daughter named Jessica Kimball, Jessica Voorhees, and she also has a child. So if you have to take this to account, if this was in the universe of part 1 to 8, Pamela Voorhees would have a normal looking daughter and maybe already a granddaughter. So I don't think she would have been so fucked up by the fact that Jason died. She would be sad, but so fucked up. So this doesn't belong in the same universe as part 1 to 8. And this is a movie on its own, where Jason is known to be a killer, and Creighton Duke has been hunting him for years but can't get to him. And it's a different universe, because at some point they get to the Voorhees house, which is a mansion, old, and yeah, I think it's just a complete other universe, you know. Uh, we yeah, and apparently what is happening is Jason, the Jason is the body, the bodies he's basically inhabiting. He can't stay in there for too long because they rot at some point, and eventually he takes a deputy, uh, and he puts it puts a parasite through his mouth, in the deputy's mouth, and he kills Diane, because she trusts the deputy at first, but because she knows him, and then he tries to kill her, and he succeeds. But Stephen, she called Stephen, which is played by John D. LaMay. I know that name from something. I seen that name of that actor. I'm not sure. I recognize his face. I'm not sure what he did before this or after this. But okay, he's called Stephen, and he's coming there to rescue her because he was, I think, he was the boyfriend of Jessica, her daughter, and the child. I think it's his child, but it's loosely said in the movie because okay, Stephen beats the deputy, puts a but before he beats her, he kills Diane with a knife through the back, and then Stephen takes a fire poker and puts it through his heart, and he jumps through the window, and the other deputies arrive, and he's standing here, of course, with blood on his hands, with a dead body, and you know what happens then. He's been taken to jail, and then something funny happens. So I'm gonna talk spoilers here, right? So people be warned. Creighton Duke is in the cell next to him, and he's talking about, he's Stephen is saying, "I didn't do it. I didn't kill her. I didn't kill her," and the deputy, he's an old, school friend or something, college friend or whatever. He's a friend, and he believes him, but he says, "Just keep tight for now, and we'll catch the real guy. The real killer." And then Creighton Duke says, "You didn't kill him. I believe you." And he says, "You believe me, right?" "Yeah." And he says, "But I know where he is and what he's going to do." And he eventually got in jail because he met with Diane and was pushy with her because he wanted her to, I think he wanted to protect her, and because he knows Jason is coming after her, because Jason needs a Voorhees, a blood member of his family, to become Jason again, the Jason we saw in the beginning. But some something happens, he's too pushy, and he gets to jail. Now there's this funny moment, like I said, you want some information. Yes, I do. That costs a lot of money. Uh, do you have that money? He says, "Not on me. Give me your hand." Okay. Crack the finger. He cracks his finger, and he falls on the ground, and he's hurt, squatting on the ground, Duke, and saying, "You gotta do, you gotta protect the Jason, the family members, because he's gonna hunt him." And then he asks, "How do we kill him?" That's another piece of information that's really expensive. So give me your hand. Crack the other finger. We're not. I'm got a blade, and that blade can kill him. So we need to find him first, and then where is he? And then give me your hands. And then he's toying with him. This is free. on the house. Yeah, it's funny. But at some point, the reporter who um, paid the bounty to catch for Duke to catch Jason, he he's an asshole. He's called Robert or something. He's an asshole. He apparently stole Diane's body out of the morgue, and he put it in the house, in the Voorhees house, I think, for some, cool, something cool that can happen or something like that. Some cool background. And at that moment, the deputy, but she falls. He puts her in a closet, but there is a hole in the closet, so she falls in, underneath the house, and the deputy Jason is there, but he doesn't know Diane is there, so he takes the reporter and puts a parasite. Because if he knew Diane was there, he doesn't. He needs a Voorhees, but not alive. He needs alive or dead a Voorhees. So if he knew, he was already Jason again. But the reporter gets the most damage of all the inhabited Jason, people. He gets blasted, but he's the coolest one actually. He goes to the sheriff's department. He just kills like 10 deputies. He's bounce their heads to each other. You see the blood on their face. I have to say the gore is on par because the coroner killed a few hikers that with a he they are having sex and she's on top of him and he puts a spear like thing in her body and rips her up, ripping her up towards her head open, so like she gets flapped up, things like that. But I didn't see the exacted, but I think I did see the censored version. I think there's an uncut version of this. I'm not sure, but it looks like it. And there's a lot of gore, a lot of gore, a lot of kills in this movie. That's a plus. So okay. Uh, he eventually, Duke escapes his prison, and Steven's already gone. He went to the diner because the baby um, was left at the diner because one of the waitresses is a good friend of Diane, and she knows she's dead, and the owner is a big fat lady with this weird haircut, red hair, and she says, "Get that fucking thing away here." Yeah, but it it's neat. It has to be alive. We can't just get 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 rid of it. And then she gets a call. Oh, okay. Put the baby in the back. She probably got the call that Diane is killed, and okay, she has a form of compassion, and puts her in the back and make a crib out of a box. She says, but her husband. She calls her husband Pookie. He's the small guy compared to this big lady, and eventually, what happens is Steven gets to the diner, and the son of the owner sees him, but he's good friends with him, and he says, "It's my baby. It's my baby. I've seen it for the first time." So apparently, Jessica was in a relationship with Steven, and they had a baby, but he ran away, and he wants a second chance, obviously, but he, you know, he gets the other guy says, "Here, take my keys, take your car," and what happens is, he eventually goes away. He doesn't take the baby with him. He doesn't take the baby with him. But he goes away to find Jessica, And at that point, okay, so he finds Jessica. He goes back to the police station. All these cops are dead. She's there. He gets a gun, shoots, the reporter Jason many times. One gets through the eyes, and then he falls down like the Terminator. If he gets hit too much, he falls down for a moment and then gets up. He digs Jessica's hands. It's fast, and like she's driving, and she's saying, "Stop! Wait! Stop! Wait! I want out! I want to know what's going on." And he says these things, and eventually she then she drops him out, and she goes to the diner. Eventually he gets to the diner too, and the reporter gets to the diner too. So they're there, and and eventually they see the reporter coming, and this is the coolest moment in the movie for me. They all have guns. They all have guns. The best friend of Diane, who wanted to keep the baby there, has a short barrel shotgun. The the friend of Stephen, the cook, has a Glock. The the oh, oh the husband of the owner has this Beretta Taurus, I guess, with a long barrel. Everybody has guns, and he comes in and he gets blasted. But he kills them all, and how he kills the boss is weird. He hits her in the mouth, and her mouth is like this. It's like yeah. It's it's a cool scene, a weird scene, but a cool scene. They take the child. They meet a they apparently the child is already taken by Duke. He says by Creighton Duke. He says go to the Voorhees house. They go to the Voorhees house. The reporter at that point is already pretty fucked up, and he finds a deputy arrives at, we don't know which deputy, POV. He arrives there, and the reporter comes out of the closet and takes that deputy. We don't know which deputy. So deputies arrive at the house, the Voorhees house. Two deputies arrive, the chief, but they thought he was dead because he was hit in the nose. So like the bone can hit through their brain. That's deadly. He had a bloody nose, and the friend of Stephen arrives. Now apparently Duke is telling him to kill them both. To kill them both. Eventually, the sheriff is doing weird. Instead of just saying, I'm the sheriff. I'm not. Yeah, she kills him, but he's not. He's not it's the friend of Steven that's the Jason. So it's the deputy Jason. So he gets Jessica. Duke is he's fallen down a hole. He can't get out because he's a piece of metal penetrated his leg, and eventually Steven comes in with a machete and slashes his head half off, and then you see a weird lizard-like creature coming out, and it goes to the basement or the the floors, the wooden floors, and lo and behold, who's laying there? Diane Kimball, aka Diane Voorhees, and he goes not through the mouth, but through the downstairs. And eventually Jason, Steven says, what is he said? The, because somebody knew that, I think Jessica or Steve, I'm not sure. One of the three knew that Diane is down there, and Steven says, "Does it needs to be dead person or alive for his alive for his, and Duke says it doesn't matter. Oh shit! And then Jason jumps out of the woodwork, and you have this short. He kills Duke pretty easily because Duke cuffs him with him on the table, and he can't get to them because they need the blade, but the blade falls into the hole and falls into the under the wooden planks. But yeah, he kills Creighton by squishing him to death, and eventually Steven has a one-on-one battle with him. Of course, he uses a shovel, he uses a stick, he uses a metal rod, but he gets fucked up pretty badly. Of course, he's Jason, going 1-to-1 with Jason. I mean, come on. Steven isn't that bulky. I mean, it's not that. Uh, Although he did had some fighting skills against the deputy, one deputy, he didn't. I mean, he gave his. He didn't just let just give up. But yeah, of course, he gets in. Of course, he's fighting Jason. Oh, he falls down. Jason wants to give the final blow, and you see Jessica having the knife and jumping in his on top of him and putting it in his heart, and then eventually he gets dragged down with his hands coming out of the ground. He goes to hell, be, literally. He's dragged down, and the movie ends. Now there are little details in this movie that are wings. First of all, the Book of Death of the I think it's the Book of the Dead. I'm not sure that it has a different name, I believe, but it's the Book of Evil Dead, the one with the passage in to call out the demons. It's laying there in the Voorhees house, the exact book, for some reason. And then the sheriff says, go past the Myers house. So that's a wing to Halloween. And at the end, you see a dog scratching up the sand, and the mask of Jason is lying there. And you see Freddy Krueger's arm taking the mask and laughing, going down to hell. Now, that's a premonition for the movie we would have gotten earlier on, but it took years to happen. Freddy versus Jason, of course, because that was sort of a promotional thing that they wanted to keep in to make Jason versus Freddy. But when this movie, I'm not sure, I didn't write down the 1995, I guess this one came out. It took what, to 10, 13, 10, between 10 and 15 years. Okay, but we had Jason X in the meantime, but it took a long time to make. I think you know, the Jason movies are from Paramount, right? And the Freddy Krueger movies are from New Line Cinema. Maybe didn't they negotiated, but they didn't come through with a deal. I'm not sure. Well, okay. Conclusion of the movie. I saw this movie for a long time now. I saw this movie now for the first time in a long time, and I have to say it's an okay movie. It's a Jason movie in a different a movie on its own. Don't compare it with Part 8 because it doesn't add up. It's just a movie on its own. You got Jason, you got some exposition about the family of Jason, and that's it. You got good gore, got some good acting, uh, good music from Manfredini. It's always good music, in my opinion. It's good music. I liked the stuff that was like Book of the Evil Dead and Myers House and the Freddy Hand. And I like that. Um, I the body swapping. I enjoyed it only with the reporter guy because he got the most damage and he was looked the most creepy because he had these black. They all had that, but I'm not sure. He has a weird head. He had a weird head to begin with, and he looks the creepiest one. What I disliked was Jason. Basically, the look of Jason. He looked weird, and that's it. Actually, just looked weird. But for the rest of it, you know, yeah, it was a good movie. It's a good movie, and it's actually deserves a little bit more praise than it gets. So yeah, I give it a thumbs up and give it a try if you never seen it. So, Jason Goes to Hell. See you next time.